when the Sanhedrin is reconstituted, will they care about lo adu rosh? Okay, or at least lo adu rosh of Shana Rambam on Sabbath, since the fresh food and decaying corpse reasons for making Yom Kippur not full near Shabbos don't really matter anymore with refrigerators. I wrote about this. You get the copy of HaChodesh Hazeh Lechem, and Rav Kapach and others basically understand it that perhaps not. This was, they needed to decide against 3 days of the week for not having Rosh Hashanah. And really, the Rambam says, so Tuesday, yes, Wednesday, no, Thursday, yes, Friday, no, Shabbos, yes, Sunday, no, Monday, yes, right? It alternates. But Rambam could have said, Wednesday, yes, Thursday, no, Friday, yes, Shabbos, no. He could have picked any day of the week to start the yeses and the no's. Just start with yes, end with yes, and 3 intervening no's. So why lo adu? Because at the time they had it. So the Rambam even left this all out. He didn't say lo adu has anything to do, no pun intended, that those 3 days have anything to do with Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah or Rosh Hashanah Rabbah. The Rambam completely didn't mention it, which is why they all jump on him, starting with the Ravad. Why didn't he mention the reasons? And I think that to the Rambam, those are not timeless reasons. Those are simply not timeless reasons. There'll come a time when refrigeration or some other miracle of God would have made that the simple considerations that the sages told us in the Gemara would be irrelevant. Okay? So they become irrelevant. So when a Sanhedrin is reconstituted, someone fell into this falls into the fallacy. When the Sanhedrin is reconstituted, what will they decide? And the answer is, you could ask, when the Sanhedrin is reconstituted, will this be, I guess, shafit, as they say? Can this be deliberated? Is this something that they reconsider? The answer is, of course, they can reconsider. This is their most authority. And the true answer is, would they care about lo adu rosh? I don't know. Ask them. That will be their choice. A reconstituted Sanhedrin. No, they can, of course. A Sanhedrin can decide these things. Okay, there's this idea of myth that Yerida Sadoros has made it that it's an impossibility, but that's not the way the Rishonim, especially the Rambam, held. Okay? You could have it. There are some batidim. I remember telling someone who was asking me about this, do you really believe that this is true? And I said, I'm 100% certain that you can have nowadays, because of our good fortune, there are many Jewish people, great scholars, who are brilliant. They have great halachic minds. They have the knowledge and the ability to process the halachas. So we could reconstitute a Sanhedrin today much greater than they had, let's say, in Rabbi Yehuda Nassi's time. Rabbi Yehuda Nassi himself was a great man. But how many people did he around him? What was the population of the Galilee at the time? After 2 generations of war with the Romans, there wasn't a pool large enough of Jews. Yes, they had a Sanhedrin, but the Jewish population was too small to support it. I'll give you an example. Just lahavdil elef afia alafim havdalos aval. However, sports are always a good muscle for things. If you had a population of 2 million in your country and you'd had to put up together what they call a soccer team, was all the guy play soccer, right? So the country with the population of 2 million has to pick the best soccer people to play against the soccer team of a country of 50 million or 100 million. So which country has the ability to field a better team usually? Right? Usually, if you have a larger population, you have more athletes from whom to choose, right? The Jewish population in Eretz Yisrael has already experienced that part of Nevuah mentioned in this week's Parsha, right? That when we come back from the exile, we start repenting, God will make us more numerous and do better for us than he did for our forefathers. And that do better for us is experienced on many different levels. So I certainly believe that the Jewish situation right now is that our population is large enough, and many people are fortunate enough not to experience the crushing poverty that basically held people back. People are free nowadays. We're basically hovering around Messianic times. Okay? How many kolos are there in Eretz Yisrael where people are free to study Torah? And they are basically, even though this is they say it's a drain on society and the economy and all that, but there's a lot of people who are able to get away with it. There are places where really the wealthy who can support people, and there's a willing side on this point. I'm not talking about people taken from the state and not really studying. Okay, I'm talking about there are people who are able to sponsor your Sachar Zavulun style, really rich people, major centers of Torah study. So we have a lot of people who are actually getting there, and it's a good thing. I also think the Nevuah is going to come back. So we're in a much better situation. So we will be able to certainly nowadays, produce a Sanhedrin that is greater in number and in wisdom than in previous Sanhedrins. Look, sometimes they had to do Kiddush HaChodesh. It talks about if you don't have all 71 members, so you just need, a minimum quorum. So I think that we are getting there, and I have confidence in the Jewish people. We'll get through this because God has confidence in us. And if He said it will happen, it will happen. As a matter of fact, we have a promise it will happen. We just have to make it happen. Okay, so the answer to that question: will a reconstituted Sanhedrin do X, Y, and Z? We'll ask them. That's their choice, and I believe that they have the authority to do that.